There will be more boats. I promise you there will be more boats, and I will sit in one, curled up in a memory that still smells of lead and concrete. And my children will learn to play. My children will learn to play by a beach in Jaffa. They will tell stories. They will gather others to tell stories of how long we waited, just how long we waited to get back there. 20-something, and we're still waiting.
Rafeef Ziadah is a Palestinian refugee of the third generation. Her grandparents were exiled in 1948 and they were originally from Haifa. Rafeef is a spoken word artist and human rights activist based in London. She is a postdoctoral research fellow at School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, and a member of the Palestinian BDS National Committee Secretariat. Her performances of poems like We Reach Life, Sir, and Shades of Anger went viral on the internet within just days of their release. She often performed with the musician and the composer Ful Mansour, who plays his music as she performs her poetry. And the reason behind that, she says, I wanted to make sure that there is an Arab sound and a contemporary sound, and that you could still feel the words very strongly. Since releasing her albums, Rafeef went to many countries where she conducted workshops and performed her poetry. She was chosen to represent Palestine at the South Bank Center Poets Olympiad in 2012. In her poems, Rafeef supports Palestine, stands against racism, and encourages the use of the mother tongue language. After moving to Canada, Rafeef studied at York University in Toronto. She started this career of writing music words and albums after many terrible incidents of racism that she experienced. The strongest experience between them was at university when a man kicked her in the stomach and said, "You should be raped before you have terrorist children." And after that, she performed her poem, Shades of Anger. The story behind naming her first album Hadil is that she wanted Palestinian names to be remembered and she wants to tell their stories. She wrote her poem about Hadil after watching the news one night about a bombing that killed a Palestinian family, including a 9-year-old child named Hadil. Then an Israeli woman's spokesperson described this as an accident, and in that time they used women spokespeople for military cause. As Rafeef says in her poem, death is softer coming from a woman.
Death, they tell me, is more polite and elegant coming from a woman. But who? Who will tell Hadil's mother, busy baking bread and za'atar, that the doves will not fly over Gaza again. The doves will not fly over Gaza again. The doves will not fly over Gaza again. Hadil is gone and her brother Ahmed lost his sight. The doves will not fly over Gaza again.
During the war in Gaza, Rafeef was the media spokesperson of the coalition. She and the people she works with were preparing their words, smiles, and sound bites for the press conference that was held. And in this conference, the first question she was asked, "Don't you think it would all be fine if you stopped teaching your children to hate?" In the same evening, she wrote her poem, We Teach Life, Sir, as a response for such questions Palestinians always get.
Smile. We teach life, sir. Rafeef, remember to smile. Pause. We teach life, sir. We Palestinians teach life after they have occupied the last sky. We teach life after they have built their settlements and apartheid walls. After the last skies, we teach life, sir.
In defending Palestine and the Palestinian issue, Rafeef uses her Arabic identity, not only her Palestinian one. She starts her previously mentioned poem, Shades of Anger, by saying, اسمحوا لي أن أتكلم بلسان العربي قبل أن يحتلوا لغتي أيضا. And she continues to use her Arabic language in her poem Breathe, which tells a story of a little girl watching her family members dead. She says, يما وينك يما, and يابا شوف شو عملوا فينا. By doing this, she clarifies the idea that she is a proud Arab who wants to have lines written in her mother tongue, even in her English poems. In summer of 2014, Rafeef's friend sent her a video from Gaza about the last massacre that happened and asked her to write anything to deliver the message since she speaks English. Rafeef then wrote her poem entitled If My Words, in which she wishes that her words would free or protect any of the Palestinians and bring them light because there were no electricity. And she says,
if my words can stop this. If they can stand in the way of a single bomb, drone, or bullet, I swear I would lay them at the feet of every child in Gaza and offer them like prayer, recite them over and over and over like the holy names of God. But my words can't stop me, so I wrote a poem.
Moreover, Rafeef doesn't only write for Palestine. She once wrote a poem about Iraq called Baghdad. In this poem, she personifies Baghdad as a female whom Americans are going to rape again. And the reason why Rafeef Ziadah chooses spoken word and poetry to express her ideas is because it's oppositional in the form and content, and because it's like a bridge between politics and culture. Behind Rafeef's strength and powerful words are the stories of her people who died fighting for justice and who taught her what it is like to be a Palestinian. Today, Rafeef's message of Palestine and its people reached the world. Her performances at different universities convinced a lot of people from different countries to stand with Palestine. Her voice and her words touched many hearts of those who chose to support the Palestinian issue. Rafeef's poetry demands to be heard. She is powerful, emotional, and political. The film and TV director Kenneth Charles.